Hope you guys can see my screen.
Yes, Sam, we can go ahead.
Perfect. So, hello, good morning, um, everyone who have joined this call. These days, it is a torrential rainfalls in major parts and major states of India. I know, there are multiple states or cities which are flooded with water, and because of which, many of our Mac admin colleagues have messaged me that they might not be able to turn up, but we are covering them with the recording. So, thanks whoever has joined, to each one of you who joined this call. So let's start. The agenda is clear. We are going to talk about Apple updates, champ updates, and certain tips and tricks how to manage and migrate to device compliance. This is mainly for people who have already registered their device to Intune conditional access, and for those organizations where the cyber security says that we need to bring compliance to our devices, and if the device is not compliant, we need to send a multi-factor authentication or restrict or limit the access of that resource. We are also going to talk about software updates and how, certain tips around life cycle. How can we manage life cycle of a Mac device? And with that, we have a small bonus point where I will help you understand how can we populate warranty and information of a Mac Apple Silicon device in Jam Pro. Announcement. Last year in 2022, I was awarded by Jam as Rising Star of the Year. And this year, I have taken one step ahead, and Jam has nominated me for a third party award as an Advocate of the Year. This is very exciting to me. I'm very happy to see this nomination. Nomination itself is motivating my morale. Getting such nomination from Jam directly is an achievement for me. I am one of the finalists today, and the result of this will be declared in mid-August. So fingers are crossed. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but being a finalist out of many people out there in multiple organizations, it's a big achievement for me. And this is not at all possible without you guys. Advocacy is not only for me, my organization, it's also for everyone who is part of this group. So this is not my achievement, it is our achievement that we as a group are visible to Jam that there is one community in India which is flourishing. We have events, we meet, we discuss, and we help each other. Apple updates. So latest Apple updates are, we now have iOS and iPad OS 16.6 and Mac OS 13.5. Many of you would have seen that when you try to upgrade from 13.4.1 or 13.4 to 4.1, or if you still go to 13.5, you will see an error during software update, which is base build error. A base build error is a bug in Apple's software update payloads, and the workaround was you should remove all the deferrals so that things works correctly. But good news is Apple has fixed this issue in 13.5. That means you will still see the issue if you don't remove the deferrals till you reach macOS 13.5. But beyond macOS 13.5, you will not see any issues related to Apple software update and base build error. So that would be a very good news for a Mac admin like me, because I did not remove deferral because we have a stringent policy and process to defer a software update, being it major or minor, because we have a quality test. What we do is, as soon as a minor update is released, we the core team test it out, our quality team test it out, and then they certify. After certification of an update, it goes to alpha user. We collect feedback from alpha and then beta users, and once all the certifications are done, it is released to our production user. An entire process from core team testing to beta team testing takes 15 days for us, and hence we have a 15 days differ in place, and we cannot remove it. So this is a good news that if you wait for a long, you can go ahead and you will not see this base build error once you reach Mac OS 13.5. There was an alternate way of downloading the entire Mac OS 13.5 and doing this update, which is again not recommended. JAMP update. We have now JAMP binary 10.48. I have a URL of JAMPRO documentation. You can go to this URL and you can read about JAMPRO 10.48, what all feature it has and what all component it has. All the documentation is part of this URL. JAMPRO 10.48 was released on July 11th, but this is the only binary. Within a very short period, we got 10.48.1 and we got 10.48.2 because of certain known issues. And majority 10.48.2 is fixing the on-prem environment issue. So if you have an on-prem issue, make sure you directly go to 10.48.2. Otherwise, you will face many challenges. There are certain features which is brought in 10.48. So if you are a Mac admin who have already enabled Intune conditional access in your organization, so you will connect with me, because the horrors which that Intune conditional access bring, the challenges for Mac admin, and the baddest ever experience an end user get with Intune conditional access, and all those prompts which is bring, those all prompts and all issues or challenge which Mac admin has been removed or resolved with device compliance. I have already discussed about device compliance in my April month's event. There is a recording in YouTube, and in coming slides, there is a QR code. You can scan the QR code and you can read or see the video about step-to-step guide how to enable device compliance and what is the key difference between conditional access and device compliance in that recording. So I'm not going to cover device compliance as a whole. What we are covering today in this particular point is the migration part. If you are on Intune conditional access, how can you migrate from conditional access to device compliance with the minor or minimum challenges which you can face? In this version of binary, JAMP has also added declarative device management enablement ability in send blank push remote command. So everyone knows that if you go to a device in management tab, we have send blank push. And when you do that, it sends certain remote commands. But with 10.48, it now has an ability to send a remote command for declarative device management, which will check whether your devices are compatible with declarative device management updates. And if yes, it will go ahead and install that and it will configure it for you. If your device is not compatible, basically dependent on Mac OS, the profile will fail and it will stay in your management command. It will not impact you, but yeah, I have reported this behavior to JAM saying that if declarative device management is not compatible with certain Mac OS, you should have a logic to not deploy the profile on those devices. Rather than sending it and making it fail, you could ignore that. They have taken the feedback, not sure when they are going to fix it, but that's an important update because declarative device management is what Apple is heavily investing. It is a way of automatically getting the latest and greatest information from endpoint without running inventory update or recon command. JAMF Pro dashboard redesign. So after long time, I think I think last year they did a redesign, which was not liked by many Mac admins. Again, this time with 1048, Jamp has done a very good redesign on Jamp Pro dashboard. The look and feel is very good. The color coding is very good. It's going to help us. And I'm going to show you a couple of images for that, and it looks good. And last and very important redesign is Jamp Pro has now added a separate section for software update where you can easily configure a software update to a particular smart group. So you can create a smart group, you can select the smart group, and you can scope software update. We will talk about this in detail in coming slides. So let's talk about conditional access to device compliance migration. If you don't want that your users are impacted from when you are migrating from Intune conditional access to device compliance, very important thing for you guys is as soon as you disable conditional access in your environment, immediately enable device compliance. I'm going to show you certain screenshots, and as a new stuff, I also started recording it. So I'm going to show you certain small recording as well. So what we are trying to say is when you go to Jamp Pro, Intune conditional access, and when you uncheck or deselect that enable button from conditional access, immediately go to device compliance and enable the same. Yes, device compliance has certain requirements. You need two smart groups. I'm not going to discuss detail about it because you can go to my April 1's recording and you guys can see what are the requirements and you can make yourself ready for those requirements. So as soon as you deselect Intune conditional access, go to device compliance, enable the settings and add those smart groups and start the integration with Azure AD. If you do that immediately, not every Mac device user will got the prompt for registration. This workflow is designed to migrate from conditional access to device compliance with a minimum impact on end user. It is not saying zero impact, it is saying minimum impact. That means although you are doing all the steps in one go, but still there would be users who might see Azure AD prompt for credentials. So we need to communicate to end user that, okay, we are going to migrate this from conditional access to device compliance. You may see this prompt. When you see the prompt, please enter your credentials. That's it. I have captured certain steps. How can we uh, migrate this from conditional access to device compliance? But before that, there are certain information. First, if you have seen my Intune conditional access video, when you go to Azure AD, we have something called partners device management. And in partners device management, we have added a user group in the scope. The first step is we need to remove that user from there. Now, as a use case scenario, we will say, let's not remove everyone. I will first remove my alpha user, or I will remove just IT department people to check how are things. So highlighted point here is if you have all users in scope of Intune conditional access, you cannot add certain user in partners compliance management for device compliance. Basically, what I'm saying is if you are adding a set of people in device compliance, you need to remove that set of people from Intune conditional access. Otherwise, these two will be in conflict and things will not work. So make sure if you are testing it with a certain amount of people, imagine you are adding 10 people in device compliance, you need to remove those 10 people from Intune conditional access scope. And that would be in this slide. You need to remove users from partners device management scope, and you need to add those users in partners compliance management. If you are not familiar with this components or category, it is highly recommended that go to my April video and check that video, because I have covered each and every slides with screenshots. So it will really help you. Here are the steps. How can we migrate conditional access to device compliance? The step starts from Intune portal. You need to go to Intune portal, then tenant administration. Under tenant administration, we have connectors and token, and there you will find partners device management. What you need to do is you need to go in the scope and remove the scope. If you are removing everyone, remove all groups. If you are removing certain set of people, remove that set of people. Okay. Once this is removed and you saved it, immediately go to Jampro settings, global, conditional access, and edit that settings and deselect enable Intune integration for Mac OS. As soon as you deselect this, save it, and then go to device compliance. You can go to settings, global device compliance, and you can basically enable the setting. If you see on the screen, enable device setting, I am in setting global device compliance. Over on the right hand side, the toggle is enable, and on the left hand side, I have enabled Mac OS. There are requirement of two groups. One is compliance group, one is applicable group. So applicable group is basically all your Mac devices for which we need to check compliance, and compliance group is all those criteria which you want to enable on the device. If all these criteria are enabled on the device, the machine will be added to this group. That means this group is compliant group. This group will be shared. The devices of this group will be shared with Azure AD, and those devices will be marked as compliant. Machine which is not part of compliance group will be marked as not compliant in Azure AD. And as I always said, I have a QR code on this page. I will pause for few seconds, take out your mobile, take a screenshot, scan the QR code. This will take you to my YouTube recording, and where I have discussed in detail about conditional access, device compliance, step to configured, and difference between conditional access and compliance, device compliance. With that, I have a small video. I'm not showing entire workflow, but what I'm trying to show here is when you go to settings, global conditional access, in this scenario, we have gone to Microsoft tenant and we have already removed the groups from the scope of partners management. Okay. And now we have come to Jamp Pro. We have come to settings. We have come to global, and I am deselecting the enable Intune integration Mac OS. And after deselection, I am going to go to device compliance. So let me show you. If you see, I am showing you a message that conditional access is no longer supported. It is deprecated. And it is highly recommended that we need to switch to alternate solution provided by Champro, which is device compliance. The old API for conditional access, which is Microsoft Partner Device Management Legacy API, it will be removed by mid 2024. That means we need to act now. We need to come to a migration plan, and we need to migrate our devices. Otherwise, this integration will not work in future and you will be badly impacted. So basically what you need to do is read this message. This migration path is not available for customer using government cloud. Okay. Very simple. Just uncheck this and then go to device compliance. So I'm not saving it because it's just for testing purpose. But if you see, I now came to device compliance. On the top right corner, I don't have this enabled. This is disabled right now. So if you go and enable it, it will then ask you to enter the compliance group. The compliance group is nothing but a smart group which you have created in smart groups, okay, with all the criteria for a device to be called as compliant. And applicable devices are all those devices which actually are applicable for device compliance. So this is enable, add those two groups and click on save button, which will start the integration process. If you want to see how that integration process will look, what all prompt will come, go back to my April month's video and see everything, because I really don't want it to repeat all these slides. Okay, let's go to next slide. Send black push for DDM. So with 10.48, we now have an ability to send a declarative management request on devices with send blank push remote command. If you want to read in details about this, there is a URL of this. You can go to this URL and see when you send a declarative management request, what all computer inventory will be up to date and what is the criteria reference for the same. It would be a good to read. Otherwise, things has been taken care by Jamf. Jamf redesign. So as I said, the dashboard has been redesigned. If you see the UI looks good, there are new colors added, and this is how it will see. If you have a report, it will show you the report of an application, and it will also show you the compliance of the package you have selected or you have deployed. It will also show you the patch policies and the compliance level. The UI looks good. The color are better. I think it's a good improvement. But the important improvement for most of the people here would be about the beta release of software updates. So now if you're on 10.48, you can now see that we have something called beta managed software update. It's a simplified and improved content management workflow to deploy software updates. It basically what it does is it is reducing the number of screen which you see. I think somewhere in November, I shared a recording or meetup that how can we send mass remote commands to do a software update, be it minor or major. What are the requirements? Okay. What they did is they are using the same workflow but with a new interface, which is designed so that it has very less number of screen and it is easy to use. You can just click and you see everything. To enable this feature, you need to go to Jampro. In Jampro, you have something called software updates, and then you need to switch to new experience for software updates. Basically, when you go to software update, you will see something like this. Use the new software update experience, uh, XYZ, and then you have a button which says use new experience. Important point is, if you guys click on use new experience and you don't like it, you can also revert back to previous method of software updates. When you click on new experience, any remote commands or any configuration which you have sent to devices which is trying to do an in-flight update on your device, it will cancel all those commands because you have switched from a new way of deploying software updates. When you click on new experience and enable the token on the top right corner, it will show you all your smart and static groups. Okay, so obviously I will recommend do not send it to all managed groups. Okay, what you can do is you can create a static group and you can add only limited devices to test this workflow, how this workflow is working, is it helping. Okay, if you see on the screen, I have all managed client which is a smart group, and I have admin test group which is a static group. So always go with a static group with only 1 to 2 device which you have, and select it and start the workflow. So when you select the group here and when you click on update that one particular group, it will show you other screen. So let's go to next slide. Oh, this slide is basically for all those people who are checking my videos on YouTube and they are not part of our ever growing Telegram group. This is the right time to scan this code and join our group where we are helping each other. I'll pause for a few seconds for you guys to scan this. So when you select the group, if you see I have update one, that means I have selected one update group. And as soon as you select one update group, it gives you install actions. So what are your install actions? Install actions are four. You have download only options. That means it will only download the Mac OS and do nothing. Second is download and install. It will download and install the Mac OS in the next availability, maybe later tonight. Okay. Third option is download, install, and allow deferrals. This is recommended from my side. Basically, allowing deferral empowers end user to defer it if they are busy. Okay. And fourth action is download, install, and restart. Not recommended for end user devices, but if you have devices like standalone devices where there are no users to interact, or Zoom room devices with Mac minis, then you can say download, install, restart, because there would be no one. You can schedule it also, not covered now, but it will enhance. But if you go to manage actions, there is a possibility, or you can go it with a script with a software update payload. But yeah, there are many options. It is really that what we choose. But if you are going to go to manage software update route, these are the four actions. I would recommend use download, install, and allow deferral, because it will give empower end user an ability to postpone the updates if they are busy. Once you select the action, there are also target versions. So what are the target version? You can say latest version based on device eligibility. So imagine you have latest Mac hardware. Is eligibility for the version of Mac OS would be latest, which is 13.5. So it will take the device to that target version. Same way, if you have an old Intel hardware which is just compatible with Monterey, then it will just give them the latest version of Monterey. Okay, so that's the latest version. Second is you can target latest major version. That means you can say, oh, I want everyone to be on macOS Ventura 13.5. So you can select latest major version. If you are focusing on minor updates, you can select latest minor version. And there is also one option is specific version. If you don't want to go to latest, if you follow N-1, you can always go to specific version and give that specific version in this payload, and then it will accordingly act and send the remote command. So when you choose the install action and target version and go to next tab, basically it is going to send a remote command. In this screen, if you see, I have selected download, install, and allow deferral. Then it will give you a window how many days deferral you want to allow. As per Apple, we can allow deferral from 1 day to 99 days. I have selected 3 year, so it is going to allow user to defer 3 times. Once deadline reach or deferral is zero, not deadline, sorry, when the deferral is zero, it will enforce the installation of Mac OS. So I selected the action, and if you see the target version, I am saying that okay, my target version would be 13.5. Don't forget, this is not going to all Mac devices. It is going to only that one group which I have selected, which is the static group. So please make sure you don't send it to all smart groups, all managed devices before you thoroughly test it out. Otherwise, you might face some complications or issues. Test out any beta you functionality before you roll out. Okay, there is a reason Jamp is calling this beta, because it might have some flaws or it is working efficiently. Test out before you go to production. Okay, when you select all these settings and go to next screen, what basically it does is it sends schedule OS update scan command on end devices, and you can go and check this in a device management tab, and you will see some pending commands. And once the command is reached, the pending command will gone, it will go to complete section. Now, a small experience how you can enable it. I'm not sure if everyone has did it, but I'm going to show you a small video. I think just 1 minute. How can you enable this settings? How you choose this setting and how you configure it. So let me start the video. And if you see, I am clicking on use new experience. Oops, sorry. I went to the slides. Let me go here and say pause. I clicked on use new experience. So it is prompting me that enabling this feature will cancel all in-flight update. And there is a number over there, 0. Number 0 over here means that it is not going to impact any of my device in scope. So that is important. If you see number of devices there, that means it's going to impact any in progress workflow. So that's a good indication. And if I say use new experience, it will go ahead and take me to the next slide. And over here, I am on computer groups, and it is showing me all my smart groups and all my static groups. On the right side tab, we also have the same workflow for mobile device group. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select one group, obviously, and that group is basically my static group. As soon as you select this group, you have one highlighted option here, which is update one selected. And there is second option, update all group. Please make sure you don't go into a trap and you select update all group, which will impact all your devices. Select update one selected group, which you have just selected. And as soon as you click on update one selected, it will now take you to the next screen, which is basically what action you want to perform and what target version you want to reach. And there are some message that this is only available for managed devices with Mac OS 12.3 or later. There are some requirements for it to work correctly. You can go through it in my recording as well and in Chempro documentation as well. Select one action which you need. I'm saying download and install is not recommended. Please go with allowed referral because that is important. You can give a number from 1 to 99 and then select the option you want. If you see, when we click on latest version, based on device eligibility or major version, minor version, we do not have any options because it is not required. But as soon as you click on specific version, you have option. When you click on specific option, it gives you a list of drop down value where you can select the minor version number which you want to go through. You don't have to type. There is a list. You go and just select the version you want to go through. And then click on apply button in the bottom right corner. As soon as you click on apply button, it basically start the workflow and send the schedule OS command to the devices in the scope. Okay. And you are brought back to the same screen. Imagine if you let me just go a little back. Imagine you don't like it and you want to revert back. Reverting back is very easy. just go to that toggle, use new experience, and turn off the toggle. As soon as you turn off, it says, disabling this feature will cancel in-flight updates. There are zero, no impact is there. And if you click on revert to old, it will bring you back to the old legacy way of software updates. So it's very good feature to test out and see if you can implement this. Else you can, revert back if you don't like it. Managed software update is a very good feature, but I personally recommend using Super or Superman script, which I am using in my environment, work efficiently, because I feel this is still in beta and not yet ready. And mass remote commands is still not major. It will be major. I think there is good amount of improvements coming in Sonoma. Let's go to certain life cycle topic. One of such is warranty and information. I don't know, how many of you have integrated your Jam Pro with Apple GSX services, because GSX services is something which populates your PO number, PO date, and warranty and information in Jam Pro. But if you have not done that, good news is I have come up with a script which you can use as an extension attribute, and that will populate warranty and information for all Apple Silicon devices. This script as an EA will be available in my GitHub page once the recording is live, and I will share that link with you in our Telegram group. It is very good for device lifecycle because it clearly tells us that how many devices are out of warranty, are going to be out of warranty, so that we can efficiently use our hardware warranty. And based on warranty and information, you can also predict when the device was purchased and when the device life cycle will be end. Imagine in our organization, we only have default 1 year warranty with Apple. So if warranty is ending of 3rd of March 2024, that means the device is purchased on 3rd of March 2023. And if the life cycle of the device is 4 years, that means that in 2027, 3rd of March 2027, the device life cycle will end, and you need to plan for an upgrade for this device. And that's how you can do budgeting of your device life cycle and plan your upgrades. Uh, Not upgrade, hardware refresh. Lastly, important update on Superman. So when I um, took a session on Superman or software update, recursive method of doing a software update on enterprise, I explain everything about Super in my video of February. If you guys are new, you have not seen how to implement Super in our organization, you can see my February 2023 video. A detailed step-to-step guide are shared in there. The important update and tip here is we now have Superman version 3 script, which is enhanced. All the bugs reported during beta versions are fixed. This version 3 also support RSR updates. So I highly recommend update your scripts to version 3. Not only update your script, but also update your configuration profile. The previous configuration profile which I shared was based on XML, a plist, and we all know not all people can go and edit a plist from string to value, and they do some mistake. We now have a JSON file which gives us a very good graphical user interface where you can just go and with a click away you can change settings. This JSON file will be available in my GitHub page. I will share that with you guys. Please go there and download your copy and migrate your configuration files. Okay, there is a small video again. This video is showing my configuration profile. Basically, how a JSON file look and feel is. So if you see, I now have under application and custom system, I have a external application. So you need to go to external application and select a custom schema. So in custom schema, your preference domain is com.macjustu.super. Okay, that's the custom domain. And below I am trying to show you the view. If you use a plist, how the view is, and if you use a JSON UI, how the field is. So let me show you XML view. So this is the default XML view where you can see the string and the value. And it is very difficult for a new Mac admin, or someone which is new to configuration profile, to go and edit these settings, and they might not know what setting is what and what to configure. The advantage of JSON is it not only gives you a user interface, but it also gives you a very good description that what will this setting do. So let me switch to a JSON based file and let me show you what it looks. This is my current settings. Uh, and if you go to JSON view, so if you see it has a very good UI, Jam Pro with a drop down, default. If you see default, there is a description also. What is this settings for? You can read that description, and then accordingly you can set up your configuration profile. Click it. We have default defer, focus defer. I'm just clicking on edit so that it is clearly visible for people. Let me take it back for a minute. And if you see, I have selected a custom schema for preference domain com.macjustu.super. And under custom domain, we have our preference domain properties. And if you see, it's very good. We have the value, the description, and what inputs we need. So this is a very good way of configuring things. And not only it shows you what you have configured in your environment, but it also shows you what you have not configured, like soft count. And soft count is something I have not configured. So if you don't want to configure a certain values, you can add a capital X. Capital X means please do not configure this variable for my environment. Just configure the stuff and then deploy the profile. With that, I have a very important announcement for you guys. With this call today, I want to introduce you to rewards. So what is rewards? So I am going to start a new campaign for our group from next month. Is like, as you guys give your time and efforts for this community, so I want to give you a gesture of thanks. So for making yourself available to join this call, for making yourself available to help someone in the group, right? So this is a reward which I am introducing. Just to give you spoilers, what will be the rewards? Rewards would be like, maybe I can give you a Jam Pro certification voucher. This voucher can be Jam 100, Jam 170, Jam 200, Jam 300, Jam 370, or Jam 400. Maybe one of you guys or every one of you guys would be the lucky one to get it from my side. It's just a, a gesture from myself, because you guys, I see you guys active in the group. I see you guys helping each other. Okay, so you can get vouchers, and that's the reason I started the survey, to see if people are certified, what are their experience. Imagine if someone of you is Jam 200 certified, and you are the one who is going to get the voucher in the first year, or maybe in upcoming events. And this is totally based on rewards selection. It would be an automated wheels of name where a lucky one would be selected. And if you are one of them, based on your survey, if you are certified on 200, I will get you a voucher for Jam 300. And it's not easy to give you, right? We all know that Jam Pro 200 to 400 certification costs $2,500. So it's not easy to get. You need to also place your efforts. You need to help a fellow community member, but that is one of the gift. What about, there, this is all my thinking, what about, uh, I give you a reward of free 3 hours consulting from myself, where I give you my 3 hours and I talk to you, I explain you Jam Pro. Maybe if you give me a Jam Pro summary, I will guide you what all you can improve in your environment, what are the problem in your environment, how can you fix your issues. Maybe it can be a 3 hours of training for you in scripting. It can be 3 hours training for you in packaging, and you don't have to pay anything for you. It will be all free. I'm not pitching here a sales pitch. It is all free. This is rewards, right? But how will you earn it? It's not like I'm going to gift everyone. You need to earn your reward. And that's where I'm going to introduce a gamification concept in our group. A gamification concept where with each act you will earn certain points. Example, you are joining my events. So if you join my event next month, each one of you will get 300 points for that. Okay. And if you reach 3000 points, I've not decided, just calling it out, 3000 points, you earn a 3 hours consultation from me, where I can either solve your issues, or I can either guide you what is the roadmap for Apple, or I can either train you on something for free. This is for increasing the engagement uh, in our group. This is for helping you skill up your knowledge, your expertise. And this is going to help each one of us, because with this, when you have a motive to reach certain level of gamification, you will be more active and you can help the other fellow colleagues. Again, I will call out, I don't need any amount for this. It would be free. You just have to earn it with respect to points. And I am going to come back with details about points, how can you earn it and stuff. Imagine you don't need certification. You are Champ 400 certified. You don't need consultancy because you are an expert. I can give you options to redeem your points with a hoodie. A winter is coming. Imagine a hoodie with India's MacAdmin logo. I am working on the logo. I am going to bring hoodie swag bottles with India MacAdmin logo, which will not only brings certain what I can say, it will help us grow. It will help us show our community to others, and you will have certain swag from India's Mac admin, and you can feel proud to wear those swag and stuff. So wait for it. I am bringing many more things to it. These are only high level 2-3 example, but there are many more things coming, and I don't need any money from you. I'm just calling it out because people should not think I'm going to charge for it. It is basically you earn it, you take it. Okay. Lastly, very important thing, next month topic. Next month, I am going to take a very important topic which is asked by many Mac admins. How can we, sorry for the typo, how can we manage admin rights in organization? Okay. Everyone has their own way of managing admin rights. There are organizations who are giving permanent admin rights, want to migrate to standard account. There are people who are on standard account but don't know how to efficiently manage the rights. And the next month topic is based on purely the workflow which I am using since last few years, and how can efficiently manage admin rights in the enterprise. Okay, how to provide admin rights, a strict or restrictive admin rights to end user so that they cannot play around. How can give the required rights to developer, and how can give permanent right to those exceptional guys. So this would be topic of next month. I am calling it out now because I will start working on these slides from now, because this is a very dynamic workflow which I have, and it would be difficult to explain you if I don't justify the slideshows. With that, if you are not part of the India's Mac admin community on Champ Nation, you can scan this code and join the community. Uh, Make a note that if you don't sign into Jamp Nation with your Jamp Nation ID and password, you will not see the join button. So please go to this community, log in with your ID and password, and join the community. This is a place where I always host my events. This is a place from where you will get notification that there's a new event coming in next month. Not only this place, but also in the Telegram group. It's where we help each other. That is also a place where I normally announce my events. I would like to thank you to join this event. Thank you very much.